Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Micron's Executive Vice President of Products and Technology, Scott DeBoer.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for being here on this beautiful day, and a day that a lot of us never thought would actually happen. On behalf of our 40,000 employees, I'm excited to welcome you all to Boise, Idaho, Micron's global headquarters. Thank you so much for being here today. We're here to celebrate the beginnings of a huge piece of Micron's future, a $15 billion investment in leading-edge memory manufacturing right here in Boise, Idaho. And this is the first new memory manufacturing project in the United States in the past 20 years. Also pretty amazing. I have the honor of introducing several distinguished speakers here today to mark this special occasion. We're thrilled to have U.S. Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm joining us from Washington, D.C. Representing President Biden and his cabinet. The Biden administration has been deeply committed to creating a level playing field for the U.S. semiconductor industry through the bipartisan CHIPS and Science Act, which also enabled anticipated grants and credits for this new fab. Secretary Granholm leads the national laboratories, including INL here in Idaho, and these labs are home to some of the world's most advanced technologies, facilities, and scientists, keeping our nation secure and working to solve some of the world's greatest challenges. We're also pleased to have Dr. Alondra Nelson join us today. She's director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy. As a deputy assistant to the president, she leads 6 policy divisions to advance the administration's priorities that include a national strategy for STEM equity and programs to ensure the U.S. remains a magnet for the world's top innovators and scientists. Dr. Nelson has been a fierce advocate for the CHIPS and Science Act and the investments it delivers in advancing U.S. leadership in semiconductor technology and manufacturing. She's serving as co-chair also for the steering committee in charge of implementing the CHIPS legislation. We're also here to welcome today Governor Brad Little, a tremendous advocate for, please Brad. Governor Little has been a tremendous advocate for the business across Idaho, and he's deeply committed to developing our communities for the future. He understands the importance of education, particularly STEM education, to ensure people across Idaho are prepared for the workforce of tomorrow. Governor Little and his administration have been great partners for Micron and instrumental in making this project a reality. Next, we welcome U.S. Senator Jim Risch. Governor Risch has been a longtime supporter of Micron, holds a critical role in representing the interests of the people of Idaho in the nation's highest legislative body. Next, our Mayor Lauren McLean is also with us. She's led Boise through tremendous growth over the past several years. Mayor McLean is a strong advocate for policies that made this investment possible and is committed to ensuring the city's infrastructure is ready for the future. We couldn't do what we do here in Boise without the strong partnership of the city. After these remarks, we'll get to the exciting conclusion of our program today, the groundbreaking, and we'll have our ceremony with shovels that several will be involved with. But a huge project like this fab also takes a lot of dirt movement, and for that we have significant explosives, and one of those is going to happen today. So we have some experts here that are going to help us get through that event safely and help us get through it with a bang. So let's get started, and I'm happy to introduce our first speaker, Micron's President and CEO, Sanjay Mehrotra.
Make your hands clap. Say I can make your hands clap.
What a beautiful day and an amazing day. Amazing for America, amazing for Idaho, for the Micron team, And it really gives me goosebumps when we think about how this place will be transformed in next few years. We are super excited, and I know you are excited as well. And therefore, thank you for taking the time to celebrate this groundbreaking with us today. I particularly want to thank Secretary Granholm and Dr. Nelson for traveling all the way from Washington, D.C. to be with us, to honor us with your presence at this event today. We are also honored to host Governor Little, Senator Risch, and Mayor McLean. Thank you for joining us to mark this exciting moment for Micron. Each of you brings a unique perspective in what this new fab and the jobs that it will create mean for American high-tech manufacturing, Idaho's economic competitiveness, and the Boise community's future growth. I also want to thank our customers and suppliers, our key partners that are here today, and many others who are not able to attend today's ceremony. And those include leaders across the business, government, and our community, whose partnership and support is absolutely critical to make, as you can imagine, a project like this happen. Many of them have also sent their special congratulations to the Micron team and to all of us, and I just want us to know, I want them to know that we really, really appreciate their thoughts. Micron has a storied history here in Boise, an amazing history. It dates back 44 years. 4 leaders at the time had the vision to innovate and be on the forefront of memory technology. By 1980, Micron broke ground on the first fab plant, and then just a few years later introduced the 256 kilobit DRAM. And the industry, the world, was awestruck by how Micron creatively really leapfrogged the rest of the industry at the time. So I often tell our team that what we do today really is because we stand on the shoulders of the giants. And 2 of those giants are here today. Please join me in thanking 2 of our original founders, Ward and Joe Parkinson. If you don't mind, if you just stand. I can't thank you enough for the vision that you had when you started Micron. Thank you. And many previous leaders of Micron are also here today, and we really thank them from the bottom of our heart, Mark Durkin and several others that are here. We thank you for building the company that today is able to have this major milestone here. So over the coming years, the desert around us will be completely transformed with our $15 billion investment, the largest private investment ever made in Idaho. And this will bring manufacturing back to here in Boise and will ultimately create 17,000 new jobs in Idaho, including 2,000 direct Micron jobs right here in Boise. I also want to thank the Micron board, and specifically Rich Bayer, who's here representing the board. Rich, if you don't mind. Thank you for being here. Micron board is an exceptional board that over the years has really helped the company make important decisions on strategic investments to drive our future growth. As Scott mentioned, there hasn't been a new memory manufacturing facility built in the US in 20 years. And today, we are proud to make this $15 billion investment commitment in this new facility to meet the world's future demand for memory. And this transformation from desert to a leading-edge memory fab is only possible because of the bipartisan coalition that came together in Washington, D.C., with leadership from the Biden administration to pass the CHIPS and Science legislation. Secretary Granholm and Dr. Nelson, we thank President Biden, Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo, you and the administration for all your work to make this a reality today. Governor Little, we also deeply appreciate your advocacy and support throughout the process. We look forward to working with your office to really make this $15 billion investment a great opportunity for the future for all Idahoans. And Micron, as you well know, is the technology leader in memory and storage solutions. We work with the world's leading companies to create new value from the data all around us. Memory market, the revenue is expected to double to more than $300 billion by the end of this decade. So demand is being fueled by markets from industrial to data center to consumer, and through the rapid adoption of technologies, AI, 5G, and of course, autonomous. Meeting that 2030 projected demand requires additional new wafer production, new wafer capacity, and this project we are groundbreaking for today will play an important role in Micron's strategy for enabling the production that is needed to meet that 2030 era demand. And for our country to maintain leadership and a resilient supply of the memory technologies that power the global economy, it will require advanced research in new materials, new chemistries, and new devices. And there is no better place in the world for those emerging memory technologies to be developed than right here at Micron in Boise. And we look forward to partnering with you, Dr. Nelson, and others in the government as we work to drive innovation and maintain US leadership in technology, particularly in memory technology. This new fab will be a tremendous addition to Micron's global headquarters. The Boise campus is home to our industry-leading R&D, innovation, and it's a center of excellence. It is, in fact, the only leading edge memory technology center here in the United States. And now, co-locating this new manufacturing fab with our leading edge, well-established R&D will enable Micron to extend our technology leadership and help commercialize advanced technologies into production more quickly and more efficiently. We plan to begin construction promptly here with targeted production starting in 2025. Our clean room will be expanding in phases with new DRAM production ramping over the course of the second half of this decade. And of course, that will be done in line with the industry demand expectations. And to say that it is going to be big is actually a bit of an understatement. By the end of this decade, this clean room will be 600,000 square feet. And I'll give you a comparison. If you're a football fan like me, you will really appreciate that that means it will be the size of 10 football fields. This will be the largest single clean room ever built in the United States. With so many of our team calling Boise home, we care deeply about the environment here. From construction to daily operations, we will utilize the green infrastructure for this fab to work with the LEED Gold standards. We plan to maintain 100% renewable electricity supply as operations grow here. We will make significant investments in water treatment infrastructure and emissions mitigation. And we invest across the community as well. The Micron Foundation has given over $100 million in the last 20 years to nonprofits since the inception of our foundation. Of course, we will continue this trend, supporting the needs of the community in the future as well. The new fab will also make a big difference in the Boise community with respect to new jobs. We are so proud to create high-tech job opportunities here and do our part to help foster a diverse talent pipeline for the workforce of the future. So what do we mean by that? What it really means is our commitment to invest in the Idaho community with an emphasis on STEM education in both K-12 and higher education systems. It also means a focus on reaching unrepresented and rural student populations. We want to inspire young minds to build the STEM skills they need to succeed in our technology-based world today, with opportunities not only at Micron, but elsewhere in the world as well. Many of our education partners are here today, and including the representatives from the Air Force who help us develop innovative technical training programs for veterans. We are really thrilled to have your support building the careers of the future here. So the future is indeed bright for Micron and our communities. We are investing to expand our technology and manufacturing leadership, build a world-class, highly skilled team, and enrich the communities where we all live and work. Together, I really believe that we can realize Micron's vision of transforming how the world uses information to enrich life for all. Thank you for your continued partnership and support, and I look forward to an exciting groundbreaking today on this official piece for Micron's future. I'm so pleased that Secretary Granholm, you are here today to join us, and I would now like to invite you to share a few remarks with us. Thank you.
Wow. $15 billion is just so huge. I'm a former governor myself, and I can't remember anything of that size in Michigan, so you will be the envy of all of governors, senators, mayors going forward. Sanjay, thank you so much for the commitment here, for the introduction, for the ability for me to represent the Biden administration here. And Scott, thank you for kicking us off. There you are. Appreciate it. It is really an honor to be here in Boise, on behalf of the Biden administration, and it's a privilege to share the podium with Governor Little and with obviously Senator Risch and Mayor McLean and Dr. Nelson, who also is representing the Biden administration here. And it's really, it's such a delight to be able to be in a community that recognizes the importance of this celebration for this community. And it's not just for this community, it's for the American economy. You know, there's a famous quote from Wayne Gretzky, and as I was the governor of Michigan, so the hockey thing is important. So, the whole thing about you don't skate to where the puck is, you have to skate to where the puck is going, right? And investments like the one Micron Technology is making here in Boise will really help to get America ahead of where the global economy is going. I mean, when we think about the industries of the future, where can we see real growth in demand? Think about it over the years before us, the decades before us. I mean, really, what comes to mind? What comes to mind is consumer electronics, clean energy, electric vehicles, all things the U.S. can out-innovate anyone else in, and yet they're things that we often depend on other countries to produce. And the president took office knowing that we've got a lot of choices to make. As a nation, we could continue buying these things from overseas, or we can make them in America. We can support jobs beyond our borders, or we can invest in businesses and workers here in America. We can let somebody else take the lead in these industries, or we can claim that lead for the United States and make this century another leading American century. And as COVID-19 and Russia's war with Ukraine have made clear, we can ignore the deep vulnerabilities in our globalized, just-in-time system, or we can get busy building the secure and reliable supply chains that we need to protect the American people from volatile price swings and from security threats. So, to the president, the choice is clear. Probably to all of us here, the choice is clear. It is time to get America making things again with American parts and American labor. And thanks really to Congress's work to pass that agenda, we now have the resources to make it happen. With the yes! With that bipartisan infrastructure law, for example, we're rebuilding our roads and our bridges and ports and revamping the electric grid and building up our domestic battery supply chains. With the CHIPS and Science Act, we are investing $52 billion to boost the domestic chip manufacturing in facilities like this one. With the Inflation Reduction Act, we're putting over $300 billion into clean energy manufacturing. And all three of these together position America to really lead the world in producing the semiconductors and the EVs and the solar panels and the wind turbines and the batteries that are going to power a global economy. And as Micron's big bet in Boise shows, and in America shows, the private sector is eager to take action. So thinking of all the companies that we've just seen in the past few weeks announcing these multi-billion-dollar investments here in the United States, and this one being the biggest of all of them so far, right? It is. I mean, I don't know about you, but it just fills me with joy and with hope. These investments, as Sanjay said, are going to mean jobs, 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 and more jobs. Good paying jobs that'll be in demand for a generation and beyond. And they're going to help create an economy that's far more resilient against the challenges of the 21st century. So just goes to show when the public and private sector come together, amazing things happen. I know the team here at Micron has been working so hard for this and will be really working hard in the next few years to make amazing things happen. And I just, on behalf of America, on behalf of 330 million citizens, thank you for showing that America can be competitive, and America can build supply chains, and America is back at manufacturing. And I look forward to underscoring that shortly with a bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Director of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, Dr. Alondra Nelson.
Good morning, Boise. It is such a delight to be here. Thank you, Senator Granholm, for those rousing remarks. There is rarely a better speaker to follow than Senator Granholm, although I won't be as rousing as her. It is great to be with you and beautiful Boise on this beautiful morning representing the Biden-Harris administration with my colleague, Senator Granholm. I want to start with greetings to Governor Little, to Senator Risch, and to Mayor McLean, and all of the distinguished guests gathered here today, including the founders of this great company and the board chair. It is a pleasure to be here to celebrate the bright future of American innovation, and it is a bright day indeed. I want to especially thank Sanjay, Micron CEO Sanjay Mehrotra, who is a great visionary, for inviting me to be with you all here on this momentous occasion. This is a momentous day for the Micron team, for the Boise community, for the state of Idaho, and for our nation. It's not an exaggeration to say that it is the CHIPS and Science Act that, in part, is why we gather here today, that brings us together here today. The Bipartisan Chips and Science Act is a once-in-a-generation investment, a powerful engine for research, for development, and for innovation. It also lays out a bold vision, our bold national collective vision for the future of science and technology. Today, Micron is rising to the vision and the ambition that the president set forth by investing $15 billion in the semiconductor ecosystem and spurring the creation of up to 17,000 new American jobs. This is extraordinary. This is truly momentous. I have the great privilege of leading the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy, where the president has charged us every day to maximize the benefits of science and technology to advance health and security, environmental quality, prosperity, and justice for all of the American public. And in particular, my team is laser focused on delivering the abundant promise of the CHIPS and Science Act. So that means developing a national strategy for microelectronics research and coordinating semiconductor infrastructure, workforce, and research and development across government, academia, and industry, and all across the United States. So why are we so focused? We're focused because the CHIPS and Science Act will incentivize the establishment of more facilities for the development and manufacture of semiconductors, these marvels of American engineering and these building blocks of the modern economy that power everything from dishwashers and automobiles and store information, application, and data in our computers and smartphones as the work that Micron Drives does. This technology infrastructure, these semiconductors, also make so much more possible. They will ensure the future health, economy, and national security of our nation. And they will foster innovation that will drive the next generation of scientific breakthroughs in things like clean energy generation, disease detection and treatment, and biotechnology and biomanufacturing, which there's a big announcement about today in Boston. And they will cultivate thriving communities across the United States through transformative investments in industry, workers, students, and in science and technology. Science and technology can play a part in creating a more equitable America. And this is partly why I am so excited about the groundbreaking today. It will do so by unleashing the ingenuity and entrepreneurship all across American society, by enabling the creation of good-paying jobs for workers with a diverse range of skill sets, including the research and skilled technical workforce, and by engendering greater prosperity in cities and towns, from New Albany, Ohio to Atlanta, Georgia, from Taylor, Texas to Phoenix, Arizona, and right here in Boise, Idaho. So the CHIPS and Science Act is a landmark achievement because of these investments, but also because of the vision it has for American society. It's a historic step to ensure that we will lead the world in manufacturing microchips, that we will provide federal support to our researchers and to our institutions in advanced microelectronics, research and development, prototyping, and commercialization. Again, that whole semiconductor ecosystem. And that we will prioritize science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, STEM, education, and workforce training in ways that are consistent with the Biden-Harris administration's equity goals. Because the stakes are too high in this moment for our nation not to include everyone in the science and technology ecosystem. For as we transform our physical infrastructure to produce the technologies of tomorrow, we must also invest in our human infrastructure now and into the future. That means increasing access to the fruits of science and technology for all of the American public, from the construction worker to the medical technician, from the community college student to the PhD scientist, from the homemaker to the shopkeeper. This is what CHIPS and Science makes possible. I applaud Micron's commitment to do just that, to increase opportunity for K-12 STEM education programs, to expand opportunities for this community's workforce, and to do both with an increased focus on reaching underrepresented and rural student and worker populations by partnering with local universities and colleges, with minority-serving institutions, with fellowships and apprenticeship initiatives, and with veterans transition programs. The guiding vision behind the CHIPS and Science Act and the action it catalyzes, more importantly, is a crucial part of the Biden-Harris administration's broader economic blueprint for a strong and equitable recovery that sets the foundation for sustainable, long-term economic growth in American society. It rebuilds our economy from the bottom up and the middle out. It empowers workers, including by rewarding work rather than wealth. It discovers, imagines, events, and builds it all here in America, giving all of us and our families more breathing room. Micron's leadership will help push open the door to our nation's future, a future where science and technology includes and benefits everyone in America. We can do this. A future where U.S. researchers, inventors, innovators, and manufacturers continue to lead the world for generations to come. A future where, as President Biden often reminds us, no possibility is beyond our reach. With today's groundbreaking, Boise and the United States have crossed the threshold into that bold future. Thank you, Sanjay. Thank you, Micron. And let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 33rd Governor of the state of Idaho, Brad Little.
Thank you very much. This piece of real estate right here, just a little to the east of here, was where part of the Oregon Trail came across the Boise Valley. When this country was just first starting to grow, this was literally a place where people we're going to the Willamette Valley, we're going to Oregon, we're going to Washington. And they came through here, and a few of them stayed. Not very many to begin with. But then as this community developed, as we put in our infrastructure, if we put in our great irrigation systems, our roads and our railroads, particularly people that were tough and were innovative came back to Idaho. So the westward migration of this great country came back to Idaho. And this piece of real estate in this company here started by two brothers from the potato capital of the world, how appropriate is that, that came here with about 3 or 4 Idaho innovators. And I'm sure when they had their groundbreaking, it was probably one of some farmer's old backhoe that started it when they did it the first time. And look what's happened here. Look at the incredible people. Look at the transformation that has taken place in the world, but particularly in Boise and Idaho as a result of those early innovators that were here. This is a logical step for a great, great company. I want to thank Sanjay and Risch for your confidence and your investment, but especially I want to thank the employees of Micron, the people that day and night toil here. That come up with that next great idea. And the people that help with this project. Tom Keeley, my Department of Commerce, the city of Boise, and everybody that worked on this project. It was really quite a feat, wasn't it, Sanjay? We want to keep Idaho as a great place to innovate, but we also have to keep Idaho a great place to live so we can continue to retain, to grow, and to attract the talent we need for this great company. We want Idaho to continue to thrive. This is going to be great for Micron. It's going to be great for Boise. It's going to be great for Idaho. And most importantly, it's going to be great for America. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome United States Senator Jim Risch.
Well, thank you so much. Thank all of you for coming here today, and I want to talk for just a few minutes and put some perspective on this. Before I do, the good news is I'm going to be brief, and one of the reasons for that is we have a constitutional provision in Idaho that requires that no speaker can speak longer than the governor, which Brad reminds me of all the time. He claims I had a hand in writing that provision, which is mostly not true. First of all, the founders are here. 2 of the 4 founders are here, and God bless you for what you did. I'm not going to talk about that at length. We had a good time, 3-4 years ago when we had the 40th anniversary out there at the Capitol building, which was great, and talked about the magnificence of Micron and your vision that has gotten us here. Brad talked a little bit about this particular real estate. You know, I'm glad you guys are here because I have a question for you. Ron Yonke always told me that he water witched the first well out here and was successful. Is that true? I've never had that corroborated, but that's good to hear. Well, listen, I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about the importance of what we're doing here and how this fits in the overall scheme of things. And where we are today in the last couple of years that got us here. This starts in the spring of 2020. And a handful of us that work in the national security lane in the United States Senate, myself and some other senators, on a bipartisan basis, by the way, sit daily and weekly in national security briefings with our 18 national intelligence agencies that talk about the various problems that we have, the challenges that we have, and the dangers that we face. And one of the things that came to light at that time was the fact that the semiconductor supply chain is in great jeopardy because of the way that it has developed. Look, it was born here. It was America's baby, but we all know that over the years that it chased the siren call of lower wages to Asia. And a lot of us believe, and certainly the national security agencies believe, that there are incredible vulnerabilities to us right now. I don't need to talk to this group about how important semiconductors are and how badly they're needed in the defense industry and, for that matter, every other industry. So it's important that we do have some better handle on it than what we've had. So on June 10th of 2020, myself and a handful of other, on a bipartisan basis, introduced the CHIPS Act that we're talking about here today. And I don't want to get too far into the weeds, but when you do something like that, obviously you want to pass it, and these things are not easy to pass. We did get the authorization. There's 2 parts of the bill. One's the authorization, and then the hard part, the spending. But the authorization, we gave a ride on the National Defense Authorization Act in the fall of 2020. We passed it in the lame duck session after the elections, and then Governor Trump vetoed that. We came back here and had a rare session on a holiday on January 1st, and we overrode the veto, and NDAA went into law, and with that, CHIPS was born. The authorization was on the books. But look, then it came the hard part, and that was the spending, the $52 billion. And yes, $52 billion is a lot of money. If that bill, if CHIPS would have been run alone and the spending would have been run alone, we'd have had 95 plus votes in the Senate to pass it. We could not get the leadership to run the thing as a standalone bill because the bill was so good, they wanted to hang it on stuff that would move it along. Gosh, that doesn't happen often in D.C., does it? Anyway, first train they tried to hang it on was Build Back Better. We all knew where that was going, and it went there, and of course it didn't go anywhere. The next attempt that they did was on USICA, and I had the unhappy responsibility of breaking the news to Sanjay that USICA wasn't going to pass. I told him that in the 42 years I've been senating, 28 here and now 14 back there, I'd never seen a bill more drawn more clearly to fail than USICA was. It did fail, and so there we were. Well, we cranked on leadership to try to get a standalone vote on it. We finally convinced them to do it. But my spending friends couldn't resist at the last moment to hang another $200 billion on the bill. So 95 billion or 52 billion is a lot of money, $252 billion is a whole lot more money. We wound up, the delegation painfully voted no on that, the Idaho delegation, with the knowledge that it was probably going to pass, or if it wasn't, we were going to be able to pass a standalone bill. And indeed, we did get the standalone bill passed. So here we are. We got the authorization. We've got the $52 billion. And make no mistake about it, there is no doubt that this is certainly a jobs bill, an economic development bill, but that's not what this is all about. What we're trying to do is we want to bring back the semiconductor industry to America. It was born here. We deserve to have it, and this is a step in that direction to bring this industry back. And Micron Technology is going to play. Micron Technology is going to play a major role in that. Sanjay, Micron Technology, America needs you. America has stepped up. We've put up the $52 billion that's going to get this started. And now what we need to do is roll up our sleeves and get to work on it. So let's do that. Micron, Godspeed to you as you move forward. Thank you, and God bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Boise Mayor Lauren McLean.
Had to have high hopes for a living, shooting for the stars when I couldn't make a killing. Didn't have a time, but I always had a vision.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is so exciting to be here to celebrate this once-in-a-lifetime investment by Micron, a homegrown company that really embodies the innovative spirit of Boise. I'm the last speaker, and I guess I'm in between the speakers and some controlled boom out there. That when we drove in, we saw the sign, I said, oh no, there's no way they're doing explosions while we're here. And I guess I was wrong. But I think it's a perfect way to celebrate the advancements in Micron, the partnership that we've had for so long, and to envision this partnership that we're going to have moving forward. Sanjay, I want to thank you and the company for making what I said to you the day that I called the right choice in choosing to stay home and to build, for the first time in 20 years, a fab facility on American soil right here in Boise. To the governor and senator, I want to thank you for your partnership in making this happen. Madam Secretary, Dr. Nelson, it's great to have you. I got to say, Madam Secretary, I was at INL a couple weeks ago, and they had been so pleased to have just hosted you to share with you the innovation that occurs right here in Idaho at the lab, as we talked about ways that our city can partner with them when it comes to a transition to clean electricity and innovation. And Dr. Nelson, for the CHIPS Act. This, as many people have said, was key in making it possible to bring this investment home. We've got a couple city council members here as well. I want to say thank you to City Council. I see Council President Pro Tem Holly Woodings. I'm not sure if others are here, but they were right alongside me and beside our city team as we went through this process to do all we could to make sure that Micron stayed home. And Sanjay, I think it was actually this Monday a year ago, it might have been a Tuesday, I think it was the 13th, that in many ways this started. I had a whole team of Micron folks and a whole team of city folks, and I think Idaho Power came through, the state came through, all coming through City Hall in conversations about what the future of investment in the semiconductor industry would look like and how it would work here. I ran in because the president had just been here, and so I wasn't able to attend a ton of meetings, but was able to run in, say hello, and share what I shared throughout the last year. And that is my belief that it was so important that we, for the employees of Micron that are Boiseans and Idahoans, we do all that we could to keep this investment here. Our city and this company have really evolved together. It's our history, partnership, shared values, and I'd say competitive spirit that led to this historic investment today. I am so proud, we are so proud that Micron has chosen Boise. This $15 billion investment, and yeah, it's a lot. It's impossible actually to really fathom what that means. But I got to tell you, I know that it'll impact our community and this city and this state and really this country for generations to come with its high-paying jobs and the additional economic activity and investment that it spurs. And so in the last year when we've had these really tough sessions on how to do this right, how to make sure that we're able to welcome Micron's fab facility here, welcome it back home, we thought about two things always. And that was the people of Micron today, the impact each of you have had on our community and continue to have in our community, and the potential for what it meant, excuse me, I've got teary eyes, the potential for what it meant for our kids, their kids, and theirs. That is really so hard to imagine, yet we know it's true, that this moment, this today, when we have some sort of explosion and then throw some dirt, marks the beginning of the next stages of what's to come for our residents, for our employees, for our city, for our schools, for our economy, and really for our country. So I commit, our city's committed, as is the state, to partner with Micron as we continue to foster innovation, to grow our economy, to protect our clean water. I am so excited about partnering with you and innovating around clean water and open space, and attracting and sustaining a dynamic and diverse workforce. So I want to say congratulations, welcome home, and here's to all we'll do together to create opportunity in this amazing city, Boise, for everyone. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sanjay Mehrotra back to our stage for our groundbreaking.
Thank you, Mayor McLean. You have been an important partner all throughout, and I really look forward to working together in the years ahead. So now this is the moment that we all have been waiting for. So are you ready for some groundbreaking here? We are going to do it in a big way. We will trigger a blast on that hillside to start Micron's construction on this new fab. But first, we have some safety protocols to follow. So safety team, please sound the safety warning.
While we're waiting, I'm going to give you a standing ovation.
Yeah. There you go. Thank you. So that's our pre-blast warning, and we have a brief safety period now before we trigger the blast. While we wait, I want to recognize two Micron engineers here as VIP guests. So if they are here, if you can just come forward, Grace Rosenwald and Braden King are great examples of how Micron's investments in STEM education are helping create the next generation of engineering talent. Grace was a member of a FIRST robotics team and pursued her STEM education at the Treasure Valley Math and Science Center. Braden also discovered his love for engineering through robotics program in addition to attending Micron's chip camp as a student. He's now one of our most veteran volunteers, passing his love of science on to the next generation. They are great examples of the passion and strong careers we know we can create when we invest in STEM for future generations. And they're emblematic of the opportunity that we are creating here today. So now, thank you both. And I would like to invite Secretary Granholm and Dr. Nelson to please join me at the blasting table to my left here. Thank you. Thank you. So I think everybody, the blast is going to occur over where you see the flag somewhere near there.
Okay.
And this are real controls here. So I encourage you to just hold the unit. And I would like all our guests to join me in a countdown from 5 to fire. 5. So 5, 3, 2, 1, fire!
Oh, there.
There you go.